Okay, I need you.
So I'm going to make some brief remarks, and then we'll be hearing from two other speakers who also promised brief remarks. One is Ami Kachelia from ACLU. The other one is Aaron Kelly from the Rutgers Faculty Union. And then we will stop, okay? So just to tell you a little bit about Indivisible Highland Park, we're on the steering committee, so I wanted to make sure you knew about the other members. Rosella Sabatini, Peter Spool, Don Stern, and Beth Stevens. Beth is the one who's been in charge of the parade marshals or rally marshals, and we want to thank them. They're the ones in the yellow jackets, the ones who are keeping an eye out for us. We want to thank them for what they're doing. And we want to thank then the Rutgers AUP AFT for coming in numbers, the ACLU for its efforts and for showing up here, the Metuchen, Edison, Piscataway, NAACP, several of its members are here. The New Brunswick area NAACP, several of its members are here. And of course, most important, you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your commitment. If you're not rallied out, there's going to be another No Kings rally in Rahway at 4 o'clock, if you can summon the energy. If you need a ride, a couple of us are going to be going there, and we'd be happy to give you a ride in our car. Also, the Central Jersey Community Action Session is going to be at at New Brunswick Performing Arts Center from 2 to 5. They're going to be giving voter information and mobilization resources for racial and economic justice. So again, if you have the energy, that would be great to go to as well. So let's start. Why are we here? We're here to make clear our strong and resolute opposition to the rapidly rising authoritarianism of the Trump administration and its enablers in Congress and the Supreme Court. We're here to say, no kings! No kings! We only bow to the Constitution. We only bow to the Constitution. No kings! So what are the signs of what is troubling us? Let's think about them, and there are 5 that stand out. The attacks on freedom of speech and assembly, the attacks on the very thing we are doing now, our right as democratic citizens to assemble and speak. They are attacking that. They're attacking their opponents as people that one should hate, as terrorists, as criminals, as vermin. We know that language. It was Joseph Goebbels' language, and it is no more acceptable now than it was then. They're attacking also the places that are sources of criticism. The mass media, Jimmy Kimmel if you want, the universities, the progressive law firms, and many other places. So attacks on freedom of assembly and speech. They're using army troops in cities where there is no cause. And of course, as you'll notice, the cities are all ones with Democratic mayors. This is a transparent attempt to exert control and to frighten people. Third, they're using masked ICE agents. This kind of use of secret police, not in uniforms, not in masks, is deeply dangerous. Fourth, they're making decisions that the president does not have the legal right to make. He cannot unilaterally impose tariffs unless Congress and the Supreme Court allow him, and they have. He cannot refuse to spend funds that are already appropriated, such as cutting off grants from universities. But Congress has allowed him to do that. He cannot fire government workers without cause, but Congress and the Supreme Court have allowed him to do it. These are illegal actions. Fifth, he's violating fairness and due process. He has ICE picking up people simply for how they look. He has ICE jailing people and deporting them without a hearing. This is no way people should be treated. These are the signs of rising authoritarianism. But is he being checked by Congress? No. They're in fact letting him take over their own powers, over tariffs, over the budget. Is he being checked by the Supreme Court? No, they've granted him immunity, and every time he then asks for more power, they give it to him. Have they stopped him from illegally firing employees? No. So we need to also name them as his enablers. So what can we do? And I finish with this. One, we cannot bend to a bully. It only incites him. Remember, in unity, there is strength. And we need to keep doing what you're doing today, exercising your democratic rights. No king! No Trump! We've got to reach out to our friends, relatives, and groups we're members of to urge them to get active in opposition. They cannot sit on the sidelines any longer. We need to get them out. No kings! No Trump! We need to support groups that are being particularly attacked by Trump, such as immigrants, LGBTQ people, people of color, working people, and the universities. No kings! No Trump! And we must decisively defeat the MAGA enablers this November and in the congressional elections next year. We must show them that if they make their ugly deals with Trump in the name of their personal ambitions or out of moral cravenness, they must pay a price. Yes. No kings! No Trump! So at this point, let me turn it over to Ami Kachalia from the ACLU to make some brief remarks. Ami?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Emmy. I'm with the ACLU of New Jersey. As Kevin mentioned, the Trump administration is tearing down the foundation of our democracy, striking at the pillars of a free society. Since taking office, the Trump administration has sent masked federal agents to arrest people without due process and deport them. We've seen them send people to a torture prison thousands of miles away. We've seen them slash Medicaid for people with disabilities, and we've seen them attempt to silence students and professors and lawyers and the press and more. And here in New Jersey, we've seen the mayor of Newark get arrested. We've seen one of our congresswomen indicted for exercising her legal authority for oversight over an immigration detention center. And not too far from here, we've seen workers detained by ICE and zip-tied. We know the fear that exists and is only growing in communities across our state, of people too scared to go to work or seek medical care, of parents scared of sending their children to school, and of children worried every day for their parents and for their classmates. And so it's important that we're all here today to say simply, we the people aren't going anywhere. And we the people will not be silenced. That we will continue to stand for our neighbors, for our friends, for our families. Let us be clear. Power belongs to the people, and the people will hold power to account. That includes advocating for policies that can protect New Jerseyans here at home. In a few weeks, the New Jersey legislature will return for their lame duck session, a period between November and January. And it's more urgent than ever that we call on them to pass policies that will create a firewall for freedom in our state. We must enact the Immigrant Trust Act and ensure that our limited state and local resources aren't being used for federal immigration enforcement. We must expand access to abortion for all by removing financial barriers to care and work to ensure gender-affirming care. We must pass the John Lewis Voter Empowerment Act to prevent racial discrimination in the voting process, reduce barriers to voting, increase language access, and prohibit deceptive practices at the polls. Together, we can create a safer and healthier community that expands access to opportunity for everyone and allows all of us to thrive. For those of you who are out here today, I also just want to make sure you stay safe and that you know your own First Amendment rights as a protester. If you'd like, you can text RALLY to 82623 to sign up for ongoing tests from the ACLU and affiliates and to get your protest rights. Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate you being out here today. And let's just do a quick chant. This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ami, and thank you very much to the ACLU for being here. Erin Kelly, who is a faculty member at Rutgers in the writing program and a member of the AUP AFT, will be talking to us. I want to come, yes, of this. So you go on in front of this.
Okay. Hi, all. Thanks so much to Kevin and for the members of Indivisible HP for organizing this event. And thanks to all of you for coming out and showing up to demand a halt in this lurch toward authoritarianism that we're currently experiencing. As Kevin said, I'm Erin Kelly. I'm a professor and graduate of Rutgers University and a proud member of the Rutgers AUP AFT Union representing faculty, grads, and postdocs. I live right here in Highland Park, and I just want to start by saying how very moving and powerful it is to see how many members of my community have showed up and out here exercising our First Amendment rights. In these moments when it's so easy to feel isolated and powerless, it's more important than ever to come together to raise our collective voices. I want to emphasize how very real and tangible the threats that our members of the community are facing right now. On top of the many other issues you've just heard about today, the Trump administration is actively working to dismantle the exercise of free inquiry at universities across the nation, including Rutgers, by trying to coerce universities to sign on to a bogus compact that forces far-right ideological purity in whom we admit, whom we hire, what we teach, and what we research. This administration is undermining the very foundations of our democracy, which depend upon the open pursuit of knowledge and the fostering of critical inquiry for our next generation. Our union has issued a statement forcefully rejecting this compact and as an attack on the educational and scholarly mission of the university that prevents us from offering the best possible education to the students of New Jersey, negates our members and our students' constitutional rights and academic freedom, and cedes an unacceptable level of control to the federal government, likely in violation of state and federal laws. So now more than ever, we need the work of scholars unafraid to share their expertise, especially when that expertise may be critical of the status quo. Already, we've seen members of our scholarly community forced to flee their home for another country after facing death threats for having the audacity to conduct research on the history of anti-fascist movements. And so, I ask you, as members of the broader community that Rutgers serves, to stand up and demand from state and local leaders a vociferous defense of our rights, not even, but especially when such bold stances run up against the increasingly authoritarian demands of the current presidential administration. Our strength lies in the power of our collective voices. Alone we fall, but together we can fight for a better future. So if you'll indulge me, let's do a chant. All right. So when universities are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When immigrants are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When queer people are under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. When democracy is under attack, what do? Stand up, fight back. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much, folks. Then we'll have some very brief remarks from Mayor Elsie Foster, and then I'll make some very brief remarks, and that's it.
Very brief remark. Thank you all for coming out. Let's keep up the fight. We cannot lose this one. No kings. We got to claim our democracy. Let's continue to fight.
Thank you very much, Mayor Foster. So let me go to my very brief remarks, and then we're finished. So we wanted just to remind you, Indivisible is a non-violent movement. Both today and tomorrow, remember that we must not give Trump any excuse for the crackdown on progressives that he wants by engaging in any violent behavior. We must not let him do what he's primed to do. He wants to treat us as terrorists. We cannot give him any reason to think that. So if today you run into any counter-protesters, don't let them egg you on. Walk away. If they're acting, however, in a threatening or particularly disruptive way, alert one of the marshals in a yellow safety vest. They can intervene. We have mental health professionals here that could step in, and if necessary, we can ask for the help of the Highland Park Police. We also have down here on this side a megaphone, so if you're a particularly good chanter, one of the marshals has a megaphone. If you're up this way and you're a good chanter, one of the marshals has a megaphone. Please think of doing it. And as I finish, let me just say this. So when democracy is under attack, what do? Tell me, who's above the law? This is America. We don't do kings. This is America.
We don't do kings.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being the active democratic citizens our country needs. Please keep doing it. Please get even more people to join you. Thank you.
Trump has got to go!